Hello.
Hey, you're the guy that owns the house. I'm really sorry I'm sitting in your spot.
Don't you
live
worry
here, don't you?
a little thing about that, Lionel. It's a real pleasure to meet you.
How do you know my name?
Well, Lionel, let's just say that you were an awfully popular man around these parts.
Me?
That's right. Well, my name is Maxwell Barrington. Now, I'd like you to become aware of something. This whole soiree is in your honor.
What do you mean about that? That makes no sense at all. I just work over at the fork shop. I deal with forks.
I know. I know you do, Lionel.
Please,
Yeah. Great.
sample my forks.
Well, I'll tell you something. These are probably some of the finest forks I've ever seen, and I am awfully impressed. And you might say that's a reason why we're having this little party. Do you know what it is that I do, Lionel?
Well, I know you throw amazing parties,
Well, of
get-togethers, soirees,
Yes.
parties.
I'm also a politician. Now, as you might know, or don't know, politics is an awfully messy business.
It is?
That's true. It's an awfully messy business.
Please, elaborate.
People don't hold politicians in the highest regard. Now, as you know, the last mayor of this town was ridden out on a rail. And we're gonna work on that, on your self-image, on your confidence, on your manners.
Will you take photos of me?
Yes. And we're gonna make your head so big. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I effed it all up.
Oh, you think so? You think a fucking decade on the campaign trail gets thrown out the window because of what you fucking did? You think that's the fucking way this is gonna go? We've been spending every day for 10 years.
Don't say it.
Every fucking day for 10 years. Lionel completely fucked up. He completely fucked up. He fucked up a decade of work. Maxwell Barrington doesn't lose campaigns, he wins them. Okay? That's who I am. I'm a fucking winner. Lionel's a fucking loser. That's the end of this. That's the end of the road between me and him. I've already got someone selected. I've already got someone that I am vetting right now, and they are coming through aces. Lionel passed the initial vet, but there is no way. I knew after 5 years. I was just so deep in that I couldn't get out. And on a campaign that's 10 years long, you go all in or you go home. And I went all in. And now it looks like we might be going home. And I'll tell you something about Lionel. Okay, not many people know this. But Lionel is a habitual bedwetter. And I've been there for him day and night. With that issue, he'll crawl into bed to wet it. This isn't the regular situation. This is the kind of guy who, if he has to go to the bathroom, he will find a bed to use. That's where he's most comfortable. And that's something that I didn't feel comfortable sharing until the incident at the library. But now I feel like there's no point in keeping that inside.
That day that Mr. Barrington and I sat on the porch, I didn't realize it would be one of the last times I'd see him. The incident at the public library absolutely destroyed my career and chances of ever getting out of the fork shop business. Even though the forecast looked good, I'd call it, the forks were going to be doing well that year. Sure, a little buck or two would have helped me, but it was nothing compared to the life I led with Mr. Barrington on the 10-year campaign trail. I miss those times incredibly. and I wish I could go back, but now it looks like Mr. Barrington is fed up with me, and my chance has been lost.
Lionel's an interesting guy. You know, he hit the market 35 years ago, and he's been going strong at it ever since. It's pretty rare that you find a person about his spec, 6 foot tall, 35 years old, who owns and operates a fork store. Unfortunately, there are a few drawbacks at this price point, including the fact that he habitually exposes himself at press conferences.
That afternoon at Mr. Barrington's was one of the most difficult afternoons I've ever had to experience. Up to that point, afternoons were always a pretty easy time for me, but that day at Mr. Barrington's was not easy at all. It was incredibly difficult. The 10-year campaign trail had taken its toll on me, and it was obvious, and the incident at the public library was nothing short of a great embarrassment. I do regret a lot of the things I said and did, but I had to do what I had to do in order to leave my job at the fork shop. The fork shop had provided me with a good living up until that point, but it turned out that I did want something more in life. 9 to 5, 7 days a week wasn't the easiest way for me to go, and I thought I was a creature not of habit. However, I might have to return to that lifestyle. Needless to say, Mr. Barrington is quite irritated with me, and I hope he can forgive me so I can continue on the trail. And I would like to win this election to become the mayor, though the chances are now incredibly slim.
He habitually exposes himself at press conferences. In this particular unit, I actually found some cracks around the bezel. And the battery life isn't strong. You're going to have to put this guy to bed after 6 hours, which is a little light. He's hungry also, needs a lot of food to keep him going. He has some personality issues, but on a whole, I'd give him 8 out of 10. He's excellent value for the money if you're going to be buying Lionel. But you should know that at this range in the market, there are options that maybe aren't better, but better suited to different consumers.